Hey, this is Frank with Inward Journey, Outward Growth. This is my second meetup meeting, and I'm here in Walnut Creek, California at Top Shop Auto. This is my auto shop, and yes, we're meeting in the waiting room of the auto shop. Mainly because this is the space that I have, so I'm going to use it so that we can meet here. My list of attendees today is over here. This thing's going to track me. Daniel and Susan, and then I'm Frank, and then all the way over here is Ben. So anyway, today we're going to talk about Dreamwork and some tools and some different ways that you can amplify your dreams and that you can work with your dreams and maybe find out what's going on in your psyche about your dreams. And then we're also on the second half of the talk going to talk about self-discovery and some different tools that you may want to use to discover more about yourself. Kind of like the name of my group, the Inward Journey, Outward Growth. Just like the name, it's an inward journey, and then that creates an outward growth sort of a status in your life. So that's why I named it that. And we could probably talk a little bit about the people that are here. So Susan actually is my sister.
Is it gonna go to me or?
I have to.
It's only finding you.
I have to go over here. But I think it has a fairly wide angle. But anyway.
Okay.
And then her boyfriend Daniel, and then my good friend Ben is behind the camera on this other part. And they'll probably stop me at different times, and we'll talk about different parts of the topic. And I hope this helps you guys out at home or wherever you are. And if you have any comments or questions about anything that we talk about, you can always go on Meetup and ask questions or comments. And I will answer them as I see them and as they come up. So that's on the Meetup app. And you can also put out comments or questions to the whole group. There's a group of about 28 people or so on the Meetup group with Inward Journey, Outward Growth. So we're going to start off with Dreamwork. So a lot of people I've talked to, clients, and I've talked to friends about dreams and Dreamwork, and a lot of people don't say they don't remember their dreams. And I've had people that say they've never had a dream in their life. So what I do with people like that is I tell them to get a piece of paper in the morning and think about what they were doing before they went to bed and write that down. And then think about what they were doing first thing in the morning and write that down. And actually, the more you narrow it down and you think about those two things and you narrow down to your sleep time, things start to pop up. And at first, it might just be an emotion or it might be a feeling. You might say, hey, I was tired the night before, or I was excited about the next day, the night before, or something like that. But the more you write down, the more you'll get. And then the next night, you'll get even more information. And then slowly, if you're like me and you're writing down your dreams, I wrote my dreams down for about 15 to 20 years, almost every day. It's more information than you can actually put together in the morning before you go and do something during the day. You would actually be writing stuff down like all day long, trying to keep up with all the stuff that's happening at night. So it can go too far. I actually stopped writing my dreams due to that. It was I didn't know what to do with all the information, and it seemed like the right time to stop. I only write down my dreams now if they kind of hit me over the head. So if a dream tells me to write it down, or if in a dream there's a certain saying or statement in the dream that I really resonate with, I'll write it down in the morning. I got into the dream work myself with a lot of out-of-body experiences as a child, and that turned into dreaming. So I don't ever remember in my life not having dreams. So it was hard for me to talk to people that had never remembered a dream or hadn't had a dream that came to me and talked about it. I did run a hypnosis office for a while, a hypnotherapy office, and it was some of those people that talked to me about their dreams or not having dreams. Because in my hypnosis office, I did do some dream work, which is what we're talking about today, is different ways to do dream work. And you don't have to have a professional to do dream work. You just need, you can actually do it by yourself, and I'll show you some tools to do it by yourself, but also it helps to have a friend, and it could be anybody. Anybody that's kind and nice to you. You don't want somebody who doesn't like you or doesn't have your best interest at heart. But you can do dream work in any state or condition. I don't know if you guys have anything more to add to what I just said about the dreams and remembering them, or things that help you to remember them when you guys wake up.
I've had some really amazing dreams. Like I call them epic, where I have written them down, and there's one dream in particular. Oh, I know.
That's okay.
One dream in particular, I actually wrote, actually 2 dreams, 3 dreams. Anyway, I've turned them into children's stories.
Oh wow.
Never
Published
them yet, but they had like a fable type outcome. You know, it's like made me question, and I was like, wow, kind of. Anyway, they seem to be teaching dreams. Those were some of the most fascinating. But then I've had some definitely, and you'll probably talk more about types of dreams, but the ones where I'm in it and experiencing myself in the dream.
So lucid dreaming.
Yeah.
Is what that is. Yeah.
Right. I love those.
No, lucid dreaming is fun.
For me, they don't come regularly, but when they do, I remember them.
And then are you able, the other thing with dream work is, which I always ask everybody, is are you able to wake up in your dream? So when you're having a lucid dream, are you along for the ride, or are you able to actually wake up and take control of your dream? So I don't know, that's a good question to ask people. Have you ever woken up in your dreams?
I can remember a couple
You have,
of
Daniel
dreams.
says,
Yeah.
he's nodding like he has.
Yeah, and sometimes I can, it'll take a break, and then I can go back to sleep, and I can kind of pick up the dreams too. Sometimes a little harder than others, but it just really depends. It's like I like the way that Native Americans have used dream work for years and years.
Thousands and thousands of years.
Yeah, thousands and thousands of years, and other civilizations for, in
Yeah, so that's
Australia
into the shamanic dream work.
Aborigines.
Yeah, yeah, the shamans would do the dream work with the different people in the tribes and stuff like that.
And that was part of their spiritual development too.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know that there was for naming kids. Sometimes they would use dreams to name the kids, because they would interpret and look at the dreams of the mother before the kid was born, and a lot of times the name would come out of that. So, the group together would name the child. the tribe group together. So, but so dreams have been used for centuries to help us humans here in this lifetime to figure out what's going on. And I do think in some aspect dreams are a review of your current state or your current emotions. And then other times it seems to be a statement of getting you to move, almost like a cattle prod in your butt, to get you up out of your comfort zone and into something. And I've had a lot of dreams that are like a statement or like almost a guidance sort of thing. So, which is I find those pretty neat. And I don't know if Ben's pretty quiet back there, but I don't know if he's if you've ever woken up in your dreams or anything.
I have not.
Yeah.
I can honestly say that my when I go to sleep, and I for the longest time I thought dreams are just for entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until you and I started talking at a way earlier age that I started thinking about that they might actually be something different. So, but that's actually why I'm here. I'm excited about the tools part that you have to try to figure out, are there messages in there? How do you access it? How do you retain it? Do you write it down? What are the tools? So
Nice. So I have found that when you do write down the stuff like I was just talking about before, that you write down kind of what was going on that you can remember. It's almost like trying to find your car keys. So you lost your car keys, you're like, what was I doing with my car keys right before I lost them? And then and then what time of the day did I pick up my car key? Or, what was I doing when I looked for them the next time? and you narrow it down to where you were at, and then you're like, oh, I set them down next to the umbrella in the nightstand or whatever, you know. So finding about your dreams the night before in the morning is a lot like that. So it's narrowing it down till you come up with, at first it might just be emotion, or it might just be a feeling, and then slowly it will bring words out and visions and stuff like that out of the dream. And the more you write down, the more you get. And I also find that if I reread my dreams, not only can I read a dream and take a nap and go back into that dream almost at any time,
Wow.
that resonance, but also some of the dreams that I write down are about what's happening, and it might be mundane things, but it's kind of canny. And this isn't. There's a lot of people that have done dream work across the world, the shamanic healing guys, and there's a bunch of dream work professionals and stuff that's all they study dreams and dream work for a living, and they've all found this to be the case. Some of the dreams describe what's going on in the moment or in the environment you're in when you read the dream, and it could be years or decades later. So you'll pick up the dream and you'll start reading something that made no sense when you wrote it down in the dream, and then you pick it up and it starts describing places or things or people around you when you pick up the dream to read it. So with Dreamwork in particular, I've decided there is no timeline to it. I think it's all happening all at once. It seems to not matter what time of your life or what time of the day or anything. The dream has no timeline. Dreams unravel in an experiential sense right there on the spot, it seems like. And I kind of smile when something comes up in my dream, and then I get deja vu right in front of me. And sometimes it's not just deja vu; it's describing what I'm looking at when I'm sitting there holding the dream. So it gives me goosebumps, because then I know it's like, hey, I kind of left a cookie crumb for myself for me to experience later on. So the other thing you can do to remember your dreams is, and I'll look at my notes and make sure I'm not getting ahead of myself, but so meditation. So taking some time, setting 2 alarms for yourself. So if you need 2 alarms, I've been meditating and I've been doing self-hypnosis for years and years and years. So for whatever reason, and I'm a mechanic and I worked as a flat rate mechanic in an auto shop. So there's a time clock in my head. So I can meditate for an hour and wake up right at an hour. I don't need another time clock, or I don't need an alarm to go off. So my morning alarm can go off. I sit up and I meditate for about an hour every morning. And in that meditation is when I have the most fruitful dreams and the most experiential parts of it. Sometimes there is stuff before that I go back into, but really in that kind of half waking, half sleeping state is when I really am able to grab a hold of with my conscious mind a lot of the dream state things. And I normally don't go in with a topic or anything, so it's not really a meditation. It's not a meditation like we were talking before about neuro-linguistic programming, or NLP. It's not going in with any agenda at all. It's more of just a mind clearing. So it's like, just focus on your breathing. Just breathe in and out. Focus on your breathing. Let go. Clear your mind, and then you go into the dream state. Right after this, you could get up and go to the bathroom if you want, because if you don't go to the bathroom or something, everything that you're going to be thinking is about going to the bathroom or needing to go to the bathroom. So it's way easier to meditate or to clear your mind without having to go to the bathroom. So, but I find that to be very useful, and that's a good tool to do it as well. You can also have very lucid and amazing dreams taking naps. And some people that haven't ever remembered their dreams, I talked to a few of them where I said, even during naps you don't have dreams, because nap time is like dream time for almost everybody. So if you go take a nap with the intent of remembering your dream, it actually works pretty well. So if you don't have to plan it per se like every day, but if you say, hey, I'm gonna go take a nap, I'm gonna go sit on the couch, I'm gonna nap, and you've been up during the day, so your conscious mind is fairly aware and conscious, but your body can take a nap, you'll end up in a pretty lucid dream state normally, taking naps. So the other thing that causes me to have dreams and lucid dreams is my sister actually is a massage therapist. So any kind of massage therapy or any relaxation techniques like that can put you in a dream state almost immediately. And some people fight it, but it's like, if you're there to relax, why fight it? You know, just let your mind slip into something that's relaxing. And there's not too many times in our life that we can actually let go of our bodies and we know somebody else is taking care of our body. So where you can slip out of your body and you know there's, in the physical realm, there's another person caring for your body, and it's not a big deal.
May I make a comment about that? I used to always, I used to always tell my clients that was the ultimate compliment if I felt them go to sleep. Now, what's interesting about massage, if you've got massage, I also get the complaint, I missed it, because it feels so good to get a massage. But there is that lovely, where people, exactly what you said, you know, they know they're safe, they know that they can trust, and they just go away.
It actually is very close to a deprivation chamber.
It is.
It is, it's very close, because normally you're warm, you're somebody else is caring for you, and normally it feels good. I think some, you know, depends on if it's a deep massage or or whatever, but even during deep massage, I've completely gone out of body. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And sometimes it helps. I think my muscles relax more and they don't react they aren't pushing back when I'm in the massage place. So, anyways, those are all places that you can accelerate your dreams or make the experience a little bit more and narrow down what you're seeing. Drawing pictures. So sometimes, if you can't remember your dream, or if you want to remember more of your dream, without any content or feeling or anything, you can wake up in the morning and start drawing pictures. So, and just let your hand draw whatever picture it's going to draw. And you never know what's going to come out. And that's a good way to transition from the sleep state or the dream state or the higher mind state or higher vibrational state into your conscious mind, and to pull things back through. In a lot of breathwork sessions, they make a mandala. You draw a mandala when you're all done with your session. This also is used in a lot of the shamanic sessions and stuff like that, where you've had some sort of a experience, and actually putting words to stuff is just not going to work. You know, it's not going to do you any good to try and write anything down. So you just start drawing and you just let it go. And the picture itself, after you look at it, and this may take days, will bring itself out. Something, some feeling or some action will come, or some words will come out of the picture at some point. And you know, if you're not creative, don't worry. This picture is for you. It's not a picture that you're being judged on or anybody else even has to see. It's basically just information from your brain out into the open. And it's, if you know about computers and analog digital transfer of data, that's almost what we're doing when we go from the dream state to the wake state. We're changing a data that doesn't exist in this realm, and we're bringing it to this realm. So you can write it down, you can draw it, you can talk about it. I personally, for some reason, every time I wake up in the morning, I have my own radio station. I have a Frank radio station. So every morning there's a song in my head, and it's a different song every day. And it's songs that I know, but it's like I have a theme song going when I wake up in the morning of some sort. It could be any song. And so sometimes I play with my wife and I say, well, just ask me what song's playing in the morning and I'll tell you which one's going on in there. So, and it doesn't happen in the afternoon or anything else. It's just in the morning when I wake up, I play a song. So that tails into music. So music can help you pull feelings and things out that happened the night before, or even sort out your feelings that you're having during the day. But if you play music while you're going to sleep, and it's kind of a restful, mindful sort of music that helps you go to sleep. A lot of times you'll have a better dream than if you're going to sleep and you've got rattling thoughts of fear or anxiety going and stuff like that. So music helps a lot. And then in the morning, if you play that same song that you were playing before, first thing in the morning, it tails in and you might remember what's in between, because you'll have the same vibrational feeling when you go into it. So that's another tool you can use to kind of bring your dreams with you to the conscious mind. Now, Dreamwork in particular, let me see, drawing pig, yeah. So Dreamwork in particular, so there have been countless books. You can go to the library and there's books and novels written on how to interpret your dreams. There's lots of different theories. There's some books that different animals mean different things, different pieces, wood means something, and different metals mean something, and different people in your life. If you have a dream about your mother, it means something, and your siblings and your father, and if somebody's died and you have a dream about them, there's books. And what I like to say about that is they're all correct. Every different way that you can think of it, there's ones that go into astrology, there's ones that go into shamanistic healing, there's ones that go in any direction. You will be drawn, your vibrational energy will be drawn to the one that's going to work for you. There's nobody that's wrong when it comes to dream work. You can examine your dream by symbols. You can pull symbols out of it. You can pull sand and dirt and metals and everything else you want out of it. And if it brings you to a higher state of knowing in your dream, then that's the right direction for you. It's not a matter of that anybody's doing it wrong or right. Because the more you're in the moment you are, the better you're going to be when you're doing dream work. So I do a dream work called Gestalt dream work, and Gestalt dream work puts you into a trance. And I'm a hypnotist, so I like the trance state a lot, and I use it in my everyday events during the day to help me out. And in Gestalt dream work, you don't need a hypnotist or some professional around to do it. You could do it by yourself. It does create a trance state. So if you're in a spot that you know you're fairly safe and nobody's going to walk in on you, you could probably do it yourself. It consists of 2 chairs. If anybody knows what Gestalt therapy is, it's the same thing as Gestalt therapy. You use 2 chairs and you become different parts of your dream. In Gestalt therapy, the classic Gestalt therapy is people that are missing a loved one or something, somebody who's passed away, or somebody that has a conflict with somebody that no longer can be there to work out the conflict. So they would put 2 chairs out and you become you in one chair and become the other side of the other person in the other chair. Well, with Gestalt dream work, what's really fun about Gestalt dream work is you can become anything in the dream. And you can pick any items in the dream. You don't have to be you. So you can be the chair, and you can be the blanket, or you can be the wolf, or you can be the moon, or you can be the wind. Anyway, it puts you in a trance state. It is really powerful stuff. Because when you bring your subconscious energy into something like that in the moment, and you become 2 different parts, and you start creating a conversation between the parts of your dream, emotion and awareness comes out of that. And it's very, very powerful. And I do recommend probably having somebody that you feel safe with, or somebody that you know, to say, okay, now become this, and now become that, and now become this. The one thing that you want to make sure if you are facilitating dream work is that you don't add any of your stuff to it. Don't try to figure out what they're trying to do, and don't add any content to it. Just as soon as they have the awareness that they should be something else, you say, yeah, go be that in the other chair. And they'll get up and be the other person. You're also there to make sure that they stay safe, they don't fall out of the chair. Sometimes in a trance state, it can get very cathartic quickly. So people can go through different states of emotion. They might start crying and need tissues, or need a shoulder to cry on. it works through things very quickly. So, but it's a lot of fun, and I have used it, and I've had clients that have used it, and I did it with all my schoolmates when I went to school for this, and we couldn't get enough of it. So we just kept going and going and going with it all. So it's been a lot of fun, and you also want to have, if it's kind of a discovery type dream, or like a dream where you were lucid and you really had a lot of content to it, you're going to want to have paper and notes, either to tell the facilitator to write down stuff, or you stop and write stuff down, or a recorder so you can talk to it. Because a lot of times when you do the Gestalt dream work and you come back out of that, some people don't remember everything that happened during the dream work Gestalt therapy session. Sometimes you lose some of that, so you can even record the whole session if you are verbal about it back and forth. So anyway, very powerful.
Make a
Yes,
comment about that.
Yeah.
I love Gestalt. I always think of it, the easy answer for me is every part of the dream is me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and looking at it that way, it's very helpful if it's a nightmare, if it's a scary dream, to do that work. Because I can step away. First I can go, oh, thank goodness it was a dream. And then you can kind of go, why am I dreaming this? And it's very interesting, the information that you get. And
then dreams have layers. You know, sometimes you'll wake up in a dream and realize you're in another dream, and then wake up in another dream, and wake up in another dream, and have layers of dreams that you wake up into. And I've had that, and normally the very first dream is really hard for me to remember what all the stuff was. So in my Gestalt session, I would become the different levels of that dream. We'd call them dream 1, dream 2, dream 3. And I could actually go back, and then I could really remember some of the content of the very first dream that I woke up from, the very first part. And sometimes I found that those dreams are my subconscious giving me some distance from a subject or a topic that I may not be comfortable with. So that's why you'll wake up a few times. So it's like, oh yeah, it's way back there, something that I don't really want to look at right now. So it's a very powerful tool, and if you're going to practice dream work Gestalt therapy, you're right there to practice Gestalt therapy if you start getting used to working with it, with relationships with other people, with relationships with your work, or it really sorts things out. And like Susan said, it's you and you. You're working with the different parts of yourself. So you know it's very helpful. At least it has been for me. So I don't know if anybody's done anything like that.
How do you learn how to do it? Where's a safe place? Do you just learn it from a book, or do you have to get someone like you to instruct? How do you learn it?
It is as simple as just getting up from chair to chair. That is the whole thing. There's not too much learning to do. The trance automatically happens. As soon as we actually go into a trance state whenever we're talking about something that's not happening right now. So really you're in a trance state when you start talking about the future or the past or dreams or anything else. You automatically are now projecting yourself out of your body into another state.
So just through deep enough thought, you can bring yourself.
Just going back and forth between the two chairs, you will start getting. It's a natural process. And it seems to be an ancient. I think it's an ancient process too. It's like it's called all sorts of different things around the world, and it's the Egyptians had it too. So they were practicing the same thing. So, and then the Mayans, it goes on and on and on. There's different types of it, but you know, the German guy, I think his name is Gestalt, that kind of came up with it. I think he modernized it to the chair thing. But in some of the coming of age rituals and stuff like that with kids, they would do the same kind of thing, where they would set the youth down and then have him get up and become the adult, and then talk to the kid, and then go back to the adult and stuff like that. So this kind of sequence has been used, for ages. So that and breath work, so the breathing. So again, with remembering your dreams in the morning and having a clear mind, just focusing on your breath is a really simple way to clear your mind. just in and out, and then sometimes I like to just feel my cells getting the oxygen and being happy, stuff while I'm doing that. So,
I know I keep sharing.
yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you
But I
can share.
have a,
Yeah. Here.
I have a dream that I did the Gestalt. If you'd like to hear an example, and I think I can keep it
Yeah.
clear, because I won't go into too many details, but I'll share how useful it was. So I have a son, and when I was a young mother, I had a lot of fear of, when they're an infant, of SIDS, them sudden infant death, and oh my gosh, she's gonna die. I had a dream where we were in like a parking lot or something. Anyway, a wild animal, I think it was a bobcat or a cougar, jumped out of the bushes, and in the dream, attacked and killed him, like in front of me. And there wasn't anything I could do. It happened really fast. And I woke up, it was a nightmare. So I woke up, oh my gosh, that was just a dream. And there were other, and I'm not gonna bring them all up, but there were other family members and in the dream as well. And we all were in shock. And what I was able to do by doing the Gestalt and kind of like, it was a dream, is process my fear around my son passing away. And by being not only him, but also the cougar or whatever killed him, and myself, the mother, and then the other family members. And I got to the point where I was like, I can't control this, his safety or whatever. I'm gonna do the very best I can. And I bring this up because it was like, I have to be okay if he does die.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to process it with this dream because it happened in the dream for me. And so I felt all the emotions of that. And it was really powerful because I was not sleeping well because I was so, I remember having the little infant monitor by my head, I was like,
Yeah.
it was
You were overly focused.
I was overly focused, yes. I'm like, oh my gosh.
So that's great.
Right.
What's gonna happen?
Dreams are there for a reason.
Yeah, and now
they
he's
are.
27. He's doing just
Yeah.
fine.
They they have to refocus. No. I had a fleeting thought that went through with dreams, but let me see. The fear dreams. So fear and anxiety dreams. This is more about dream work, and you can find however this is going to feel for you. Repetitive dreams that are fearful or have anxiety. A good way to work through those dreams is, again, to write it down like we've been talking about, or draw a picture or something like that. And you can slowly either wake up in your dream and stand up against whatever it is that's giving you the problem, like the cougar or whatever. Or you can keep writing things down, and if you write it down and you look at it and you decide that you want the story to be different in your waking mind, there's a good chance that you can pull that into your dream world too. So if the next time you have that dream and it's a fearful dream or an anxiety dream, you can say, okay, this time I'm going to do something different. And you kind of pre-write your dream, write it out before it happens, and then you can change that dream before you get there. So it's kind of like having your own plan when you get there, and that works really well too. So that's, let me see what time it is. I don't know what time it is. It's 8. So
I think your bigger problem is you have about 2% battery left.
oh really? On what? On the phone?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Can you put some juice to it?
Well, that's the first half of the Dreamwork part. So I can plug it in, yeah. So I can plug in my phone,
You should.
and then I'll continue, and we'll record the last part, which is the self-discovery part. Okay, see you guys in a bit.